In the world of table tennis, China dominates. Almost all the greats come from one place. But even among these elite players, there is one man who has become infamous, not for his skills, but for something else.
One match point saved by Timo Boll. Timo Boll does it! Timo Boll!
The player is Lin Gaoyuan. He might just be the biggest choker in table tennis history. From his early days, Lin Gaoyuan was seen as a future superstar. At 16 years old, he was the runner-up of the 2011 World Junior Championships. The following years, he developed even more and started to beat better and better players. First time we saw Lin at the big stage was in the World Championships in June 2017. He was one of the 5 chosen players of China for the men's singles event. As expected, Lin surfed through the first rounds relatively easily. Now he was in the round of 16 to play none other than his teammate Xu Xin. Xu Xin was the strong favorite with a lot more experience, but Lin played at an absolute world-class level. Lin was leading 10-5 in the deciding set, but somehow he couldn't close the match. This was more seen as a legendary comeback by Xu Xin than a choke from Lin. Almost every player has lost a match like this in their career. The problem is when it is starting to become a repetitive pattern. Before we go deeper into that, we will talk about the Asian Cup in September 2017. It was this tournament that really put Lin Gaoyuan on the map. He was outstanding the whole tournament and defeated Fan Zhendong in the final to become the champion. This result grabbed the whole table tennis world's attention. 22 years old Lin's future was looking really bright. 1 month later, in October 2017, the World Cup was coming up. By winning the Asian Cup, Lin was qualified for the tournament. Except Lin, Ma Long was the only other Chinese player in the men's singles, so there was a lot of pressure on both of them to deliver for their country. In the first round, it went as expected for Lin when he outplayed Marcos Freitas. The next match, in the quarterfinal, Lin was facing Timo Boll. He started off the match extremely promising and got himself a 3-1 lead. But Timo is not famous for giving up easily and won the 5th game, 11-9. The 6th game was really close, and Lin had 1 match point but couldn't capitalize on that opportunity, and Timo won the set 14-12. In the deciding game, Lin showed his best game and went 10-4 up. The match was over. When Lin needed just 1 point to win, he started to play like we would play against Timo. He missed the ball, he read Timo's serve upside down, and it looked like he had glue under his shoes. 13-11 game and match to Timo Boll. Lin had 8 match points in total, which 6 of them was after one another. It wasn't like Timo did 8 around the nets. It was Lin who got nervous and choked. This didn't look great for Lin Gaoyuan. It didn't look great at all. This match didn't increase his chances of taking a spot from players like Fan Zhendong and Xu Xin in the future. This type of loss would hurt every player. But when you play for China, the competition is quite strong. If you compete against Fan Zhendong and Xu Xin for a spot in big tournaments in the future, you can't afford this type of losses. Lin Gaoyuan was still a part of the Chinese A-team. He had many great performances over the following years. In 2019, he was in 7 big finals, but only won 2 of them. He was at the absolute top of the world, yet he was still in the shadow of Ma Long, Fan Zhendong, and Xu Xin. Xu Xin's career was coming to an end. Would Lin take his spot in the top 3 and play in the Olympics? Wang Chuqin and Liang Jingkun had surpassed him. When these 2 players were coming up, Lin had the advantage in the head-to-head, but these 2 developed and surpassed him. Lin's reputation also got worse and worse. He could still beat the best Chinese players, but he was too unreliable. Lin topped the list of all the Chinese when it came to losing to Europeans. And I mean, you can't lose to a past prime Paul Drinkhall and expect a place in the Chinese A-team. Lin is arguably the player who has been given the most chances and has always stayed in the A-team. It's because when he plays well, there are no words to describe how great he is. We fast forward to Budapest WTT Champions 2022. For the first time in a while, we saw prime Lin Gaoyuan. The unreal fast backhand and forehand counters that you have to rely on your hearing to identify if they went in or not. Lin Yunju 3-2, Timo Boll 3-0, Yukiya Uda 3-0. In the semi-finals, he beat legend Chuang Qiyuan 0-6, 6-7. I mean, Lin Gaoyuan was back in his prime. In the final, he was facing Tomokazu Harimoto. Harimoto had recently beaten both Wang Chuqin and Fan Zhendong on the same day in the final of the 2022 World Team Championship. So Lin was playing Harimoto, who was in the form of his life. But that didn't stop him. He came flying out and won the first 3 sets 11-3, 11-7 and 14-12. Harimoto was fighting back strong, but Lin played himself to a 3-2, 10-5 lead. A whole tournament of just pure dominance and now just 1 point to secure the title. Lucky for Harimoto, Lin doesn't love these situations. Harimoto won the set 13-11. Now the score was 3-3. The deciding game starts at 0, which Lin feels more comfortable with. Lin plays like usual and goes up 9-4, and then from absolutely nowhere, Harimoto wins 7 points in a row, and with that, the match. This match single-handedly should break down any player, but Lin could rise from this and kept going. Now 27 years old, maybe in his prime years, he kept good form. In 2023, he defeated Fan Zhendong to win the WTT Contender Zagreb. As always, Lin's top is the absolute top. It has now been 7 years since his breakthrough and his first tough challenge in his career. 7 years at the top, and he is now playing better than ever. In the quarter-final, he defeated Fan Zhendong. In the semi-finals, he got his redemption against Harimoto and smoked him 4-0. In the final, he played Ma Long and kept going for 3 sets. He was 3-0 up. Lin was just better. He had the tournament of his life. He was just 1 set from winning his first major title after a long career of struggles and challenges. Always being able to be the best, but never being crowned as the best. Yes, you guessed it, Ma Long won the match 4-3. At the time I make this video, Lin's form has declined. In the latest tournaments, he has lost to Benedikt Duda and Darko Djordjic 3-0. I don't know if he will ever get a chance like this again to win something big in his career. I mean, they're just coming more and more younger Chinese stars, and Lin is not getting any younger. Let me know in the comments what you think. Do you think he still has the chance?